Yo, what's up, NIO Electric Vehicles? How's it going? Just gonna wait for more people to join the stream before we get started here. But some breaking news came out today. I just got off work, so I wanted to talk about it from CN Tech Post, which is really good for NIO. What's going on, everyone? Just waiting for more people to join the stream before we get started. But today we're going to be talking about this breaking news from CN Tech Post that came out this morning. I'm just getting off of work, so this is my first opportunity to speak on it. But in the essence of time, I wanted to go live to make sure that I could post this as soon as possible. Also, Yushin has their earnings call at 8. Yushin has their earnings call in the pre-market tomorrow. I was thinking it was after market, so I won't be live streaming that because I'll be working, but I will do a debrief after and give my thoughts on it. NIO dropped pre-market. It sure did. But if you think about it, we're sitting pretty good compared to where we were last week. We're sitting at 41.09 in the after hours right now. NIO's down 3.31% for the day, down 0.29% in the after hours, currently trading at 41.09. You look at the 5-day chart, we're up 11.26% from last week. So, it's not really a bad thing in my opinion, even from a short-term perspective, unless you were, playing the stock for the short term. This week with earnings and everything coming up, which I know a lot of people are, and you never know what's going to happen with earnings, so it could still go in their favor. But anyways, I think we have enough people on the stream to get started. What I wanted to talk about today was some breaking news from CN Tech Post. Battery swapping in China is going to be getting more political support. Like I said, the story was broke by CN Tech Post. If you're not following them, they have the best electric vehicle news as it pertains to China. This is one of my top sources. I tap in with them very frequently. Almost every day I'm checking to see what they post, and you guys will notice that I digest the information and I give my opinion on it. So that's what I'm going to do today in this live stream. Some key points that I took away are that battery swapping is going to get more political support in China. So what does that mean for a young electric vehicle maker like NIO? That pretty much means everything, right? They're the front runner in battery swapping. They are the only ones offering battery swapping to consumers. Other battery swapping companies are pretty much not offering it to consumers. They're offering it to businesses like taxi businesses and things of the such. And battery swapping is so important, right? Because if you think about technology just in general, battery swapping is a technology. It's a very important technology to NIO's business model. It's their biggest moat around the business as well. If you think about technology, it's always, business is no longer about the big beating the small. It's about the fast beating the slow these days. We live in the technology era, right? So who's going to get to market first, and not only get to market, but execute with the best product? And that's definitely been NIO. We've seen Tesla try out battery swapping. Didn't really work out for them. They really tried it out over here in the US. So good product, wrong market. In China, they decided to really just go with their superchargers as the most important, as their biggest way to eliminate range anxiety. NIO has NIO Power. There's tons of solutions, which we won't get into everything right now. But the NIO is essentially the first to market, or the first to get to market and actually execute. Like I said, they're the front runner in battery swapping. They spend a lot of money on R&D. So not only are they the first to market, but annually, every year, they're putting lots and lots of money into R&D and putting that money into the technology to make sure that they remain the front runner in battery swapping. And this is so important because as time goes on, we're seeing that China is really choosing battery swapping as a preferred method of getting them to a space where they're carbon neutral. So what does that mean from a holistic perspective, in my opinion? We've seen this in work reports that China actually wants to standardize battery swapping at some point. Right now, they're doing a lot of testing, seeing what's working, what's not, and it's working out extremely well for NIO from the version 1 to the version 2, which is a lot more efficient, can handle a lot more battery swapping in a day. It's pretty much completely automated, even though a technician is still there for safety reasons and things of the such. So as battery swapping does become standardized, that's going to open up a whole new kind of box of revenue for NIO to not only get revenue from their customers that are already NIO users that are already driving those vehicles, but it's also going to get revenue from companies like, okay, Ford isn't going to be benefiting from battery swapping right now. Their vehicles aren't equipped for that. But if they standardize something like that in China and it becomes the layout of the land, there's going to be all these new companies that want to partner up with NIO, and they're going to want to be able to provide their customers with a solution that's going to help them eliminate range anxiety and make things a lot easier for them. A couple more things that I wanted to touch on is that with battery swapping and China pouring so much resources and effort into battery swapping, what does that mean for NIO? It means that they're likely to get more money. It means that they're likely to get more revenue. It means that they're likely to get more subsidies, more support. We're already seeing them get a good amount of subsidies, not even from local Chinese governments alone, but we're seeing them get subsidies from other businesses, people who or not even subsidies, but help from other businesses, help constructing these battery stations with State Grid, help constructing these battery stations on Sinopec's property. So the argument that battery swapping is invalid is an invalid argument in itself. And there's a lot going on here right now around the subject matter. Everyone's pretty much in a rush to do it. NIO has the most comprehensive suite of pretty much electric vehicle charging technologies, and battery swapping sits on top of the stack. So I want to scroll through this article and tap on the key points. The China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology and the National Energy Administration recently decided to jointly organize a pilot project on the application of battery swap mode for new energy vehicles with the aim of implementing the new Energy Vehicle Industry Development Plan 2021 to 2035. The Shanghai Security News was reported on Tuesday. The move will promote the innovative application of battery swap mode for new energy vehicles, promote the development of deep integration of new energy vehicles and energy, and support the achievement of carbon peak and carbon neutral goals, the report said. So basically, if you scroll down, they have pretty much the logistics of it, the specifics of it. Strengthen technology, research, and development, support enterprises to carry out new vehicles, battery swapping mode vehicles, power battery, battery swap equipment, and other technology research and development. Improve the technical level of the product to ensure quality and safety performance. Carry out the demonstration applications based on the actual needs of the city to develop a reasonable and feasible battery swap mode for vehicle production goals. Encourage the first pilot in public transport, rental, urban logistics, and distribution ports, mines, and other public areas. Promote commercial operation in the private sector. So really, when you think about something like this, they do have a partnership with Sinopec. Really, when you think about something like this, it's just a really big deal for NIO because battery swapping is going to be the future. There's going to be a lot of support around it, and it's really just going to be something that's going to benefit the business dramatically. Um, Aside from that, I really do feel like in the future, maybe even Tesla revisits battery swap. Maybe they don't need to, but China is not like the US. If they're incentivizing around something, everybody has to pretty much play by their rules, from my understanding of what's going on. And it's good to have the Chinese government on your side. So with NIO being the front runner in a technology like this, with NIO really investing a lot into R&D, all these other companies are going to have to play catch up on that aspect. And the picture is just becoming more and more clear every day that battery swap in China is going to be um, just widely important. That's basically what I wanted to touch on in today's video. It was some pretty breaking news. I saw it while I was at work. I wanted to get this news out as quickly as I could. Again, shout out to CN Tech Post. They always post great NIO news. I'm always checking their page. I'm always searching the internet for NIO news and seeing what's going on. We have earnings coming up on Friday, I believe. So it's going to be a great time, and it's going to be good to see where the business is at, especially with the chip shortage and everything going on right now. It's going to be really good to see what goes on inside of what's going on inside of NIO's business and get some guidance as well, so that we can further position ourselves for the future and see where the company's going. So I'll open it up for anyone who wants to ask questions. I see there's a lot of questions here, so let me get to these, and if you guys have any questions, keep dropping them in the chat and we can hang out for a second. We should force Samsung and Apple to allow battery swapping. They should in China. That would be, I wouldn't be surprised. How's Texas today? It's a little hot. I mean, if you look over me, you'll see like there's the ceiling fan spinning. It's also gloomy. It's not too hot. I feel like it's like 70 degrees. I haven't been outside yet today. How many years does battery swap technology have? People say that it has less than 10 years. I don't know. I doubt it. Seems like we are going to need it for a long time, especially because I don't see charging improving fast enough. That's a good question. It all depends on like you said, the charging. How quickly can we get to a point where we can charge our vehicles pretty fast? That's one thing. And then it also depends on how quickly the range and capacity of the battery improves. But aside from that, you really have to think about it like not just around like charging and range. Battery technology is always improving, right? So when you buy a NIO vehicle per se, you're eliminating the conversation of battery degradation. You can have an older vehicle and always swap into the new vehicle. That's pretty much one of the pillars of battery as a service. Swappable, replaceable, really harping on the emphasis of the separation of the vehicle and the battery. So as long as batteries continue to get better, I'll say that's as long as battery swapping will be a valid solution. There's an old company named Alton. Yes, I've talked about Alton and NIO Capital's investment in Alton on the channel as well. Alton wants to be able to do, I forgot, but it was some super impressive stat by 2025. They want to be able to do a ton of battery swaps in a really short amount of time, way quicker than we are right now. For NIO's revenue, you said beat estimates. To be honest, I looked at the Tesla earnings call. It wasn't too impressive this time around. Here being there is a chip shortage, but it seemed to be propped up by things outside of the core business. Knowing that there's a chip shortage, knowing that there's a cap on production, knowing what's going on, I didn't feel like I would feel comfortable throwing out any estimates for NIO this time around. But we'll see what happens. Hope for the best. I think that they'll have a good earnings. given the current environment of the market and everything that's going on right now. Alton also has a partnership with Sinopec. I did not know that. That's very interesting. NIO gang, yes sir. I know they get new energy vehicle credits. Are those for the previous year sales? I know they used around 1.8 million. Good question. So NIO, they do get new energy vehicle credits, the carbon credits. In the last quarter, those carbon credits showed up. We'd expect them to show up in this quarter as well. I'm not really sure how much it would be. Just looking forward to listening to the earnings and seeing what happens and seeing where things go. Look into UMC for semiconductors. Semiconductors wouldn't be a bad play right now. At least I don't feel like, but that might be a good one to look in. There was this other semiconductor company that I was checking out for a little bit, and I ultimately just decided not to invest. Almost missed the party. Bluffing fluff. Welcome to the party. The party is almost over, man. They are down to 3 minutes. I definitely have to look into that. I didn't know that Sinopec had a partnership with Alton as well. So that's interesting to hear. But something that was really exciting for me to hear was that we got Jeff and Bigfoot. Something that was really interesting for me to hear was that NIO's plan is they actually confirmed that they plan on building their own autonomous driving technology. So when I heard that, it kind of took everything else off the table, but maybe, they can be fail safes. Like they're invested in Momenta through NIO Capital, but Ren Xiaoqing is on the research and development team of autonomous driving. So there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of stuff to watch out for, and a lot of NIO basically has their hands in a lot of buckets when it comes to autonomous driving, but they have confirmed that they will be attempting to do it on their own. And I think that's the most scalable thing for them to do. But I'm not mad at them investing in other technologies, because it might get to the point where, hey, I need to pull data from these other companies, or I might need to pull bits and pieces of technology from these other companies to make my own technology. And that's been the approach that so far NIO's taken with autonomous driving, with the LiDAR and the ET7, pulling it from another company, with the NVIDIA chip, all the way from beginning in the Mobileye chip, just pulling things from other companies and really making it their own and adopting the best technology. But it is good to see that they're making something proprietary from the ground up. So I'm excited for that. But last thing I want to talk about today is the Yushin earnings is going to be tomorrow in the pre-market. The whole time I was thinking it was the aftermarket, so I won't be live streaming that, but tomorrow I will drop a video and give my thoughts on it afterwards. I'll listen to the earnings call while I'm working. By the way, it did sound like NIO is not going to use Pony AI from what Lee said during the latest interview. I agree. That's exactly what I'm talking about, because they were asking if they were going to adopt some of Huawei's technology, and it was the response on that was negative. Alton to help Sinopec build 5K battery swap stations in 100 cities in the next 5 years. Yeah, that was the huge stat that I was forgetting. In the next 5 years, as Sinopec plans to integrate charging swap into its existing gas stations media. And when you think about Sinopec, what they're doing just makes business sense. They're in an industry where they either have to innovate or they fall to the wayside, because eventually China wants to be carbon neutral. So the market won't be there for them anymore if they continue doing what they're doing. NIO already has a whole suite of charging solutions. So it makes sense for them to get with NIO and eventually end up selling energy back to their customers, clean energy, not anything that's created from gas or oil. So it makes sense. A lot of the stuff that NIO makes is universal. It can be used on more vehicles than just NIO vehicles. So, for Sinopec I can see them in the future, and this is just a prediction, speculation, adopting some of NIO's technology. And guess what that means for NIO? That they're going to get a fair amount of revenue from that. I believe Ark and Kathy will pick up NIO sooner than later. So I've been seeing a lot of that in like the YouTube world. This is why Kathy Woods will invest in NIO, or Kathy Woods considering NIO and XPong. I feel like it would make sense. I wouldn't be upset if they like picked up NIO. Like it makes sense based on what they're doing. They like to invest in innovation. But as many Chamath Polyhapataya interviews as I watch, and he's someone who also likes to invest in innovation and disruption, he gave a clear reason why he would never invest in China, in Chinese stocks. And obviously, like Kathy Woods, they're in Baidu already, and they see Baidu as a clear winner out here. So they don't have the same stipulations towards China that Chamath has towards China, but I feel like they also are very Tesla centric when it comes to investing. That's the whole Tesla is a stock that put them on the map, really, and they're really bullish on that company. And they obviously believe that Tesla will get more market share in China than NIO, which I don't think is the truth. I think NIO will be number one in China eventually. But, it depends. It all depends. If it depends on specifically how Kathy Woods feels exactly about NIO. Is she going to trust this new startup Chinese company as well as she's going to trust an internet tech giant like Baidu? It's not something that I feel like she can monitor as closely as she can monitor as closely with the Tesla company. They have a direct relationship with Elon Musk. They meet with people at Tesla all the time. They pretty much have turned into spokespeople or chairmen for Tesla, not officially, but unofficially. Do you think it would be the same way with NIO? So it makes the conversation of ARK investing in NIO a lot harder, and there's a lot of variables to consider, in my opinion, but it's quite a possibility just because of the things that they like to invest in, but it's a maybe, like Jeff said. And Fluff says, I doubt it. Okay, guys, so that's going to be it for this live stream. If this was helpful at all, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment down below. I always want to know what you guys think, especially if you're watching this after the live stream. And yeah, I'll link the free Discord in the description. That's going to be it for this one. Catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for tuning in. One last thing here, NIO is definitely going to be number one in China if Tesla keeps treating their customers the way they do. And there's a lot of Tesla backlash in China right now. If anybody follows Tesla, if anybody's watching it, I went live the other day with my friends, like having that argument about like NIO versus Tesla. How there's this thing called patriotism, and NIO is in the biggest electric vehicle market. We don't hear anything about NIO's quality being bad in China. In China, it seems like, they're not, and I like Tesla and I love it as a company, but, going off the headlines, going off the news, being objective, it seems like China isn't really tolerant of the quality issues there. So, and they're and you got to be empathetic because starting a car company is not anything that's easy. If you think about it, how often do you see new car companies come up, right? You think about Ford, you think about GM, you think about Mercedes, you think about Audi. These names have been around us for decades and decades. And here comes Elon Musk accelerating the race to clean energy, giving other people, open up the door for all these other electric vehicle companies to hop in and start doing their thing. So you have to be empathetic. They don't have the same quality of, manufacturing as people who have been doing this for so long, and they're working on it. And it's just going to take time and patience. And I completely understand that. And I would never sit up here and say like Tesla is a bad company. Like Tesla is a great company. Tesla is the best battery technology company right now, in my opinion, in the world. So there's a lot of things you have to consider. Innovation is never going to be something that's easy. It's never going to be something that's perfect, but they're on their way. They're making great strides and they're showing progress. And we're seeing that through revenues. And we're also seeing that through just looking outside your window. Tesla, Tesla, Tesla. We're seeing more and more Teslas every year. And Tesla is, of course, going to get a disproportionate amount of the market share as electric vehicles increase. But I don't even know how I got into this rabbit hole of Tesla. This was not a Tesla video, but thank you guys. I appreciate the time.